Hello and welcome to question 31 of the Q&A series. And the question for this is, how do you know if you're contributing to the music scene, the local scene or the world scene, and adding something new and different that's not been done before and or which perhaps moves music forward in some way? Can this ever be determined, or is it just luck? What makes something innovative in music? So, not to burst anyone's bubble or anything, the chances are in the bigger picture you're probably not doing anything new as such. But if to one of your fans, followers, listeners, whatever you want to call them, you are the first musician that they've heard play in a certain style, then I'd take that as a win. It's pretty cool. And I've done that with some people. I know there's other people out there that sing in this style, but when you make that first listen to someone you've not actually heard sing in that style, it's cool. It's cool to do that. Yeah. Now, I think it's really hard to determine this. I think it's possibly impossible. But yeah. Most musicians are contributing to the music scene by just merely supporting the music scene on a flip side of this. Usually what happens, especially in this area, there's a bunch of local musicians. They all support each other. They all attend sort of open mic nights together and take new people in if there's new students in town, or just someone who's moved in the area, or someone who a bit older and perhaps popped their guitar down for so many years and then decided to pick it up, or they've retired and they've got that time now to do this. But we all take each other under each other's wing and we support each other, and then they go to each other's gigs when they're not gigging themselves, and they promote each other, and it's all so lovely in that sense. So that's contributing to the music scene, perhaps in a different way to how you were first imagining it, but it does happen like that. I do try, as a professional, to teach and lead bands in a progressive way that's moving forward. I believe that's the best way to move forward, because changes are made by the way someone's taught. It happens throughout life. It's like, recently I've been looking into different sort of parenting methods. Not that I'm a parent or going to be for a while yet, but I just found it interesting, and I actually believe that me reading into things like this, I'm yet to do proper research, but reading into things in that way, it will help me understand teaching younger children better, and should therefore help me with teaching. So it all sort of relates together. And you teach a child in a good way, then that will help the child. The child will then behave better overall, and things like that, rather than suppressing emotions, telling them to let the emotions out and show that you're there for them rather than shouting at them and things like that. And similar with music lessons as well. I remember when my music teacher back in secondary school told me about her brass tutor. She was a trumpet player, a cornet player, and her brass tutor, this was years ago before I go into this story, but years ago when she was learning, her tutor would stand on her chest to make her work more for breathing. So he'd be stood on her chest while she's playing, and he'd do all sorts. Fair enough, she was a good player in that, but she did fall out of love playing things. But she taught so much better because of that, because she knew no one else wanted to be taught that way. And obviously it's illegal now to do that anyway, so it kind of can't do that. But being progressive in that sense and teaching them in a much more calm way, nurturing them to love music, is a good way to push music forward. Also with the music scene, I think the biggest movements I've really seen has been contemporary music, because I've seen so many weird and wonderful performances, and I think that does move the music scene. But yes, I think we're in sort of a dead end at the moment now. We've had sort of the jazz coming through and rock and roll and doo-wop and all these fusions of things, and now we're in this area where we're just doing fusions of fusions. And that's about it, really. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Cheers, bye.